Pokémon, a video game turned card game, anime, and social sensation that people both young and old have grown to love. And out of all who have enjoyed this franchise, it is the gamers and artists who have taken to it the most. My name is Zion, and I'm both of these things as well as an avid Pokemon fan. I draw characters and monsters in plenty of calibers, but at my roots, I'm a Pokemon artist. My style over the years has grown around the overall style of Pokemon, and most of my design aspects line up with it. Simple shapes and details as well as a more cutesy, friendly approach to character design. Although I haven't really been exposed to the games as much as others, I can confidently say that other content creators and oddly enough the cards have kept me interested in this journey. But enough about me. What is one thing most Pokemon artists do? Well, draw, obviously, but more specifically Pokemon that they imagine and dream of being in the world of Pokemon itself. But due to these ideas not being officially coined and produced by Game Freak, the original creators and developers of Pokemon, they are by some extent fake, thus the community has dubbed them Fakemon. Being a fan of Pokemon and an artist for many years, I have been making countless Fakemon since I was a kid. And today I have made it a goal to share with you my progress of bringing these creatures to life in this day and age. Now, every region in Pokemon has their starter Pokemon, as the community has dubbed them, and of course I have come up with my own that have changed and grown as I have in my artistry. So today I will share my Fakemon 1 through 3, my grass type, first companions, and the journey I have gone through to get to their current design. Cedeer has been a relatively constant design over its changes, an Orvis-looking deer. His first design was iconic, but it felt bland. It looked more like a stuffed toy than a young deer, so the first time I changed the design was, wrong one, and that'll be for later, sorry. This second design was made with the goal of making it seem more frail and scaredy. A good step forwards, and I was almost ready to keep this as its final look. But, as the other starter Pokemon's designs grew, I knew I had to make one final change that would tie it to its evolutions better. I didn't want this design to scrap the elements that I improved upon previously, so I simply kept those elements alive while updating the art style to my current Fakemon style. I made it so its leafy fur was more highlighted like dappled light from the leaves, and its face more deer-like rather than, a plush toy, still. Cedeer, the evergreen Pokemon. Cedeer are very skittish, using the oils in their fur to mask their scent from predators. The oils that Cedeer secrete are reminiscent of pine trees and are great for repelling bug types as the smell is disorienting for them. But it can smell nice to anyone else who smells the woodsy scent. Cerspruce has been a tough journey, admittedly. Its first rendition is probably the only design that I can confidently say I genuinely dislike, even when I first made it. I mean, just look at it, but that aside, I had to scrap this design altogether. Its squished proportions, its jagged fur, and its face. So the first time I redesigned it, I wasn't actually trying to. Going into my first redesign process for the 3, I dreaded having to do Cerspruce. But as I started on Cedeer, I realized that what I was doing seemed a little too big, so I decided it would work better as Cerspruce instead. This design felt more coherent and not the last one, so I accepted it as is, and like its prior evolution's first redesign, I was ready to call it there. But its design soon grew outdated and I wanted to upgrade it. Not by much though, just some more fuzz to make it seem more animalistic, and a change of face to tie it to its final evolution. And thank goodness it embraces that awkward middle stage energy most starter Pokemon seem to have instead of being outright nightmare fuel. Cerspruce, the evergreen Pokemon. Cerspruce secretes an oil that gives off a therapeutic aroma that helps to alleviate pain and headaches, making them a household favorite to many. In the winter, Cerspruce depend on the hard fruit that grow from their fur to eat. These fruit are quite bitter but are strong detoxifiers. Pride is something that is either way too easy or far too difficult to capture into a design. Whether it's gaudy accessories or a simple smug grin, pride can be interpreted in many ways visually. But with Alpinelk, I didn't want to make it seem off-putting with an arrogant smile. I wanted it to look more majestic and serene, like a real elk. I wish I could say my first design accomplished that. first rendition of Alpinelk was left wanting. It was made when I took way more shortcuts in my art. Not that that's a bad thing, but when trying to draw something as majestic and powerful, it doesn't exactly do the trick. Especially with the stare so unnerving. So my first redesign tackled that issue, giving it more fluid proportions and a more impressive look, keeping its overall design like I did with Cedeer. In its most recent redesign, however, I felt it had too much negative space in comparison to the other starters, so I gave more colors that drew the eye to its face rather than its chest, while keeping its design relatively the same, and made it bulkier to match its would-be in-game stats. Alpinelk, the evergreen Pokemon. Alpinelk are noble forest dwellers that protect their domain with pride and diligence. Trainers will find that this Pokemon is quite easy to train, although more often than not, Alpinelk's prideful demeanor can prove to be difficult to work with, even for the most skilled trainers. Well, there you have it, Cedeer, Cerspruce, and Alpinelk. I'm happy with how the design process went over the past few years, and in the next video, I look forward to sharing about the Fire-type starter Pokemon. Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time.